South by Southwest canceled for the first time ever.
I have issued an order that effectively cancels South by Southwest.
The high-stakes decision to pull the plug. Thousands of attendees make new plans.
I was very excited to go see Busta Rhymes.
And hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. Now, down the drain.
The big festivals are what we depend on.
Breaking coverage starts now.
CBS Austin News begins with breaking news.
I've gone ahead and declared a local disaster.
Now is not the time to panic. Now is the time to prepare.
We continue to follow breaking news. South by Southwest is canceled for the first time in the festival's 34-year history. We also just confirmed some breaking news just into the newsroom. There are now 8 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the Houston area. We bring you live team coverage across the city tonight. Our Jordan Bonke is live in downtown getting reaction. Gabriela Vidal is tracking social media at the News Now desk. But first, let's check in with CBS Austin's Betty Cross at City Hall. Betty, the city says it couldn't take the risk.
That's exactly right. They say they couldn't take the risk. They just felt like this was a step they had to take. But understandably, South by Southwest tonight says it is devastated. It understands, the organization understands health and safety come first, but they say this will be the first time in the event's 34-year history that it will not take place. Organizers are looking at the ramifications of the cancellation, which will be huge considering the 10-day conference and festival has an economic impact of $355 million. This afternoon, city and health officials spent a lot of time explaining today's decision. That's because there is still no person-to-person spread of the virus in Central Texas. In addition, today the results came back from the first person in Austin tested for coronavirus, and those results are negative. But factors that played into the decision today are the size of the massive festival that takes over much of downtown, the close, sustained contact at many venues, and the fact a quarter of the badge holders at the conference come from out of the country. They're international travelers.
We looked at the options for mitigation. We looked at, are there opportunities to decrease the threat to an acceptable level that would allow us to continue? However, after careful deliberation, there was no acceptable path forward that would mitigate the risk enough to protect our community.
The disaster declaration was declared in both Austin and Travis County, and city and county leaders say they did that because it really left no option for what happened to South by Southwest. They could simply say South by Southwest will not be held. There was no decision making on the part of the festival itself. This could have ramifications, of course, for other events that are being held in Austin, like the rodeo. But so far, city and county leaders say they have made no decision on events like that. Reporting live at Austin City Hall, Betty Cross, CBS Austin News.
Thanks, Betty. This high-stakes decision will affect thousands of Austin residents who either plan to attend the festival or make money from it. CBS Austin Jordan Bonke joins us live in downtown tonight with reaction from local stakeholders. Jordan?
Well, the second people see our cameras down here, they know exactly why we're on 6th Street, right at Brazos Street, where this is the nucleus, unofficially, for South by Southwest. Thousands of people are down here for that 2-week festival, and the signs that went up here on 6th Street could be coming down just as fast as the way they went up. So far, we've heard from a bouncer who said that they're glad that the festival's canceled because no company or city wants to be responsible for spreading the virus. A bartender said that they're surprised that the corporate sponsors pulled out, and he doesn't care that his business will take a hit. Now, according to South by Southwest, last year's economic impact was $355.9 million. It's the most profitable event for the city's hospitality industry, and more than 400,000 people come to Austin for the event. Here's what the owner of B.D. Riley's had to say about it.
We're disappointed, but understand the reasons for the decision, and we look forward to making the best of our St. Practice Day on Sunday, which is our warm-up, and then on Tuesday, the big event where the show will go on.
Now, the Austin Chamber said that they respect the decision to cancel South by Southwest, the 2-week festival, and their thoughts right now are with the small businesses that rely on events like South by Southwest. We're live downtown tonight. Jordan Bonke, CBS Austin News.
Thanks, Jordan. Dozens of companies pulled the plug on the festival in the last few days alone. Apple, Netflix, Amazon, Facebook, and Twitter, just to name a few. All of them were concerned over the spread of the coronavirus. Right now, social media is buzzing about the cancellation of South by. CBS Austin's Gabriela Vidal is live in the newsroom in the News Now desk with the latest reaction. Gabby?
We're seeing a range of artists, filmmakers, attendees, and even local businesses in Austin responding to the cancellation of South by Southwest. Alamo Drafthouse ATX tweeted, quote, "Attendees, volunteers, filmmakers, workers, colleagues, we love you. We've got a lot to do right now. Hang tight." Now, Austin Beer Works retweeted this statement from Paula Forbes saying, quote, "Please, please, please, over the next few weeks, go support the local businesses you love, especially if they're in the thick of South by Southwest stuff or we're planning big events tied to the festival." Filmmaker Aaron Morgan said, quote, "Utterly heartbroken for my team that worked so hard on Seek Short. Personally sick to my stomach, but understanding that this was for the best. People come first." Now, some people on social media are supporting the city's decision to cancel South by Southwest amid concerns about the coronavirus. Others worry it could financially impact the businesses and local artists who plan to take part in the festival. In the newsroom, Gabriela Vidal, CBS Austin News.
Thanks, Gabby. Thousands of volunteers were ready to work South by. Now they're left with nothing to do. We spoke with one man who says he was excited for a jam-packed week.
Things like Vivo. I was very excited to go see Busta Rhymes. I'm a big rap fan, so going to see those people. It's not that surprising to me just because of the growing fears, and they are definitely understandable.
Volunteer orientation was set for Sunday. Obviously, that won't happen now. Some Texas scientists have a sample of COVID-19 and they're using it to come up with pharmaceutical weapons to fight it. The Galveston National Lab is a high-security biocontainment lab on Galveston Island. It's where some of the world's best medical minds are working to find answers to the novel coronavirus.
We're not there yet. I don't want to, to overpromise, but those trials are underway. And so that's, I think, for the near term, for the next few months, this is probably a very promising area of investigation.
Tonight on CBS Austin News at 10 o'clock, CBS Austin's Adela Uchida has new details about COVID-19 treatments and a vaccine in the pipeline.
Now your Storm Tracker weather.
We are trading out our sunshine for some high clouds that will be on the increase through this evening. What that will do is potentially keep our temperatures from falling all that much more. I do think we'll see mid-40s by morning, but it could have been a lot colder had we kept the clear skies in place. 65 degrees our current reading. Just a beautiful day. 71 was our high. It's down to 57 in Dripping Springs. 60 is your temperature out in Doss. Still 68 degrees currently in Giddings, and there are the clouds. So the way things play out, high pressure is keeping us high and dry for now. A very weak little upper level disturbance is going to head in our direction. At first, just bringing extra cloud cover and then possibly trying to bring in a couple of very light spotty sprinkles to parts of our area. At this point, I've only got a 10% rain chance for your Saturday. As for the rest of the weekend and when temperatures warm to 80 degrees, I'll have that in your full CBS Austin 7-day.
New solutions to gridlock in Austin, Cap Metro's massive Project Connect plan and how it will change transit across the city.
This holds the survival gear, basically filter the water and you can drink it.
A coronavirus survivalist, the Texas man taking drastic measures in case all chaos breaks out. President Trump just wrapped up a visit with the CDC in Atlanta. The president learned about the research and vaccine development in response to the coronavirus. President Trump also asked Americans not to panic, but to stay calm. The CDC is now asking elderly Americans and people with chronic conditions to stay home as much as they can. Early data suggests the elderly are twice as likely to get seriously ill from the coronavirus. The CDC says it's best if they avoid large crowds and planes. Cap Metro's major plan to expand train and bus service, the massive undertaking and how it could help end gridlock across the city. Major news in Austin tonight. South by Southwest is canceled. The city will lose out on hundreds of millions of dollars, but city leaders say they can't take the risk. South by can only be described as Austin's Super Bowl, earning more than $355 million a year last year. The attendance impact about $182 million, the operational impact $157 million, and the consumer impact $16 million. New tonight, Austin voters could soon make a major decision on the expansion of Cap Metro. New renderings show plans to expand both train and bus services across the city. CBS Austin's Christian Flores explains how this will be a massive undertaking.
It's just gridlock.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic in Austin is often a guarantee, but soon commuters may have more options if Cap Metro gets approval for their Project Connect plan, which would add bus routes, 14 new park and rides, new Metro Rail Red Line stops by the Austin FC Stadium and the Domain, as well as 3 new train lines.
The last 10 years, the population has totally exploded. I think that they could have done this 30 years ago and it would have been great, but I mean, better late than never.
A system like this with 2 major transit ways that our vehicles don't have to fight traffic on, so we can provide reliable and frequent service for people to connect them to jobs and education. It'll just make us a lot more livable.
The new train lines under this proposal would add the Green Line servicing East Austin, the Orange Line to run through UT, and the Blue Line to run from North Lamar at 183 to the airport, with an underground tunnel going through downtown to separate trains from traffic.
I think it's fabulous, long past due. I think the traffic here is horrible, and a rail line going out to the airport would be amazing. I would use it all the time.
Every piece of that puzzle is important to making the system move fast.
The plan still needs to be approved by the Cap Metro Board and Austin City Council, go through a public input period, and pass an environmental impact study. It could cost between $3 and $10 billion, with 40% of the funding expected to come from federal grants. Come November, voters could be asked to approve the funding for the remaining 60%.
We want to know from our community, does this make sense to you? Is this something that you can see will help impact your life and make it better?
If everything stays on schedule, Cap Metro could break ground in 2 years, with everything up and running by 2028, though some parts will be operating earlier than others. Christian Flores, CBS Austin News.
Now your Storm Tracker weather with Chief Meteorologist Chicago Wendler.
Beautiful day today and a nice warm up ahead.
Yeah, a little birdie told me that there's something going on. Barbecue Austin, is it?
Yeah, you know, I had to help the community and judge the Bloody Mary contest tomorrow.
I like it. So the weather's going to cooperate. We'll have clouds. It might be a little bit cooler than today, but overall not a bad day to head out there. And I think a lot of people are assessing which events are still on and which ones are off. And as of now, Rodeo Austin's Barbecue Austin is on. It's My Park Day for the Austin Parks Foundation is also on. So plenty of things to do. Of course, cautiously. Right now it's 65 degrees, made it to a high temperature of 71. Some spots already falling into the 50s, Lago Vista and Dripping Springs, for instance. And overall, what we'll be watching through the rest of this evening and overnight is clear skies giving way to high cloud cover. Eventually, the moisture from this weak little upper level disturbance may yield a couple of sprinkles. That's about it. So let's start with It's My Park Day, kicking off at 9 a.m. tomorrow at about 110 parks across the city, 51 degrees at 9, near 60 degrees by noon. A whole lot of cloud cover, but at this point, I'm thinking most areas will just probably stay dry. I've only got a 10% chance of just a couple of sprinkles here or there. Barbecue Austin also taking place tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. 67 degrees the afternoon high temperature, southeast winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So in the morning, starting with 40s, by lunchtime into the 50s in the afternoon, high temperatures in the 60s. That'll be the coolest day of the upcoming 7. Oh, and then rain chances ramp up a little bit more as we head toward Sunday, maybe some patchy mist or drizzle in the morning. And then we rebound up to around 70, 72 degrees by late day. But then a couple of showers can't be ruled out late day on Sunday heading into early Monday. It'll kind of be a day in, day out streak of very low end rain chances. To be honest with you though, all the way through Wednesday, I think most areas will probably see less than 1/10 of an inch of total rainfall. Then as we head through Thursday, I up that to a 20% rain chance with the best chance out in the hill country. And finally, a week from tonight, that's a week from on Friday, the 13th, no less, we could see a cold front rolling through, and that could be our next shower or storm chance. Not to be superstitious or anything.
This is not a bad looking forecast.
No, not at all. 80s? Yeah.
I'll take it. Spring, hello. A coronavirus survivalist, the Texan going to extremes to prepare why he thinks the world could turn into chaos. And cracking down on price gouging, the warning from Texas leaders as prices for wipes and face masks skyrocket.
told the survival gear basically filter the water and you can drink it. It's basically an insurance policy against chaos.
New tonight, a Texas man is taking drastic measures to prepare for the coronavirus. Jesse Colombo is not only a financial analyst, but a self-titled survivalist. In the last few weeks, the Irving resident has spent tens of thousands of dollars to stockpile enough food, water, and medicine for 18 months.
My immediate concern is not so much getting coronavirus. It's more so an economic collapse that's caused by the coronavirus outbreak.
Colombo says people call him crazy and paranoid, but he's not taking any chances. As fears over the coronavirus grow, online sales of virus protection products have skyrocketed, up 817% in the last 2 months alone. Officials say some people are trying to gouge price online for products like hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, and masks. Now, states and cities are cracking down. Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton say officials in Texas are aware and they're watching you. After the break, a recap of today's top stories: a local disaster declared in Austin and the impact by Southwest cancellation and how it's affecting the people in Austin. In case you missed it, is next. Austin leaders just declared a local disaster, and for the first time in 34 years, South by Southwest is canceled.
There is still no person-to-person spread of coronavirus in Central Texas. That hasn't changed.
Everyone that we've talked to so far has said they're shocked. One musician said that he's had several gigs that are now canceled. A bouncer and a bartender said the same thing, that they're glad it's canceled, that it would have been irresponsible and greedy for the festival to go on.
Today, President Trump signed an emergency $8 billion spending bill to respond to the coronavirus outbreak. There are now 260 cases in 23 states, 6 of them in Houston. As fears over the coronavirus grow, online sales of virus protection products have skyrocketed, up 817% in the last 2 months. Nice day today, going into a cloudy but pleasant weekend.
Yeah, the weekend will be a little bit cooler tomorrow, 67 degrees. Then on Sunday, 72. Both days can't rule out a spotty sprinkle or shower, but overall mainly dry. Look at next week, though. I've got low-end rain chances. I've got high temperatures soaring into the 70s and even 80s. It'll be warm, it'll be humid. Wait, it'll almost be like spring.
What?
Almost like spring.
We should spring forward.
Maybe so. 2 a.m. Sunday. Let's do it.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock. Have a great night.